Today we're going to find surface area of cylinders. So you should have already watched the video about how to find surface area of cylinders, so I'm just going to jump right in and we're going to start solving. So just a reminder that these are our steps to finding the surface area of any shape. So we're going to draw and label the base. We're going to write the formula from the formula chart. We're going to fill in the formula, and then we're going to type it into Desmos or calculate it, okay? So I'm not going to touch Desmos until I've done all these other three things, okay? So I'm going to leave that here so we can refer back to it if we need it. So we're going to find the surface area of each cylinder, round the answer to 2 decimal places, and we're going to use 3.14 for pi. That's really important. Do not use the pi button on the calculator. We're going to use 3.14. So this first one says lateral surface area, and here's our picture. So we're going to take that picture and we're going to draw and label the base. So I'm going to draw a circle, only labeling my radius. Our radius is 3.7. And then I'm going to draw a line right here to represent the height. Now, second step is to write the formula. So I'm going to come over to my formula chart, to surface area of a cylinder, and we're looking for lateral. So right here. So 2 pi RH. So I'm going to write that down right here. 2 pi RH. Now we're going to fill in the formula with the numbers from the problem. So we're going to rewrite it. 2 times, instead of pi, we're going to write 3.14, because that's what we're going to type in, times the radius of 3.7, times the height of 7.1. Now that I've filled it in, I'm going to calculate. So I'm going to open Desmos and type it in. So 2 times 3.14 times the radius of 3.7 times the height of 7.1. So 164.9756. Now it said to round to 2 decimal places. That's the hundredths place. So that's to this 7 right here. So you're going to look to the right. The 5 tells the 7 to go up. So our answer is actually 164.98. Now for your units, you're going to use these centimeters. But since it's area, it's actually going to be centimeters squared, or square centimeters, okay? And that's how you solve a cylinder problem for lateral surface area. All right, let's look at the next one. The next one is total surface area. But we're still using those same steps, okay? So we're going to draw and label the base. That's the first step. So I'm going to draw a circle, label my radius of 2.2, label your height of 10.3. Now for this question, it says total surface area. So for total surface area, you're going to come over to the formula chart, go to surface area, come over here to total, and cylinder is this one right here. So 2 pi RH plus 2 pi r squared. Okay? Now we're going to fill it in. So we've got, I'm going to open parentheses, 2 times 3.14 for pi times our radius of 2.2 times the height of 10.3 plus 2 times 3.14 times, I'm going to write it underneath, the radius 2.2 squared, close parentheses. So that's what I'm going to type into Desmos now. So open parentheses, 2 times 3.14 times the radius 2.2 times the height of 10.3, close, plus open 2 times 3.14 times 2.2 squared. Remember, if you feel like I'm moving too fast, you can pause, okay? So I got 172.7. So I don't need to round that one because it's already there. 172.7, and it's going to be inches squared for total surface area of this cylinder. And again, remember you can always rewind or pause as I'm writing things down so that way you can see it, okay? All right, let's move on to number 3. Number 3 is lateral surface area. So we've got this cylinder, so I'm going to go ahead and draw the circle. The base is always a circle on a cylinder. I'm going to label my radius, but notice what they gave us. They did not give us the radius, they gave us the diameter. I am not ever going to label diameter on this circle because I do not need diameter. So right now I'm going to take 9.4 and divide it by 2 to get my radius. So my radius is 4.7. And we don't need to do anything to the height. It's 8.4. Now you should go look at your formula chart. We're going to write the formula. So if you look, it's 2 pi RH for lateral surface area. So now write it out. 2 times 3.14 times your radius of 4.7 times your height of 8.4. So 2 times 3.14 times 4.7 times 8.4. You should get 247.9344. Remember, we're rounding to 2 decimal places, so the 3 look to the right. The 4 tells the 3 to stay the same, so it's 247.93. Okay? Oh, and then for units, it's meters squared. All right, let's look at the next one. Now we're doing total surface area again. So go ahead and draw you a circle. Label your radius. Draw your height. Now again, it gave us diameter, so I'm taking that number and dividing it by 2 to find my radius. So our radius is 3.8. Then your height is 7.2. Now, go to your formula chart, look for total surface area of a cylinder, and write that formula down. 2 pi RH plus 2 pi r squared. And then you're going to fill it in. So, 2 times 3.14 for pi, radius 3.8 times the height of 7.2, plus 2 times 3.14 for pi times 3.8 squared. And then go type it into Desmos. Two times 3.14 times 3.8 times 7.2, close, plus 2 times 3.14 times 3.8 squared. So 262.504. The 0, you look to the right, the 4 tells the 0 to stay the same. So this is actually going to be 262.5. That 0 just falls away. And it's centimeters squared. Okay? So now you've seen lateral and total surface area when you're given the radius or when you're given the diameter. Now what I want you to do is I want you to complete number 5 and number 6 on your own. Okay? So you're going to pause right now, and you're going to complete these on your paper, and then you're going to start the video again because I'm going to share the answers with you. Okay? Great. So you should have paused and worked these. So go ahead and check your answers with number 5. If you need to pause, you can. And then go ahead and check your answers with number 6. And again, if you need to pause, you can. All right. So let's talk about word problems here. The difference between lateral and total surface area. I want you to think about total surface area as wrapping a present. You're going to cover everything on the shape, okay? And lateral surface area is where you're not covering the whole thing. You're leaving the bases of the shape exposed. And this works for any of the shapes we're going to talk about in the next few days. So when you're not covering the whole thing, it's lateral, and when you're covering the whole thing, it's total. So number 7 says Campbell's Soup is creating a new soup label. If a can has a height of 8.3 inches and a diameter of 7 inches, how much material does Campbell need for each soup label? So if you look at a can of soup, they are not covering the whole thing. They don't cover the top or the bottom. So this would be lateral surface area. So what I'm going to help you do is draw your picture, and then you're going to solve this one on your own as well. So you're still going to draw a circle with your radius labeled and a height, just like you did for all the other problems. Now you're going to go back through and pull out numbers. So it says if a can has a height of 8.3, so go ahead and label that height, and a diameter of 7. Well, diameter is not what I need radius. So 7 divided by 2 is 3.5. So that's our radius. So now write your lateral formula, fill it in, and type in your stuff in Desmos and see what you get. Okay? So pause. All right, so you should have paused. Here's the formula. Here's it written out. And here's your answer, 182.43 square inches. If this had been a multiple choice question, you may not have seen this answer. We're talking about material for a label, okay? So if you saw 182 without the 0.43, that would be incorrect because that's not enough material. But you could round up and say you need 183 square inches. So just remember that rounding trick. If you're looking for material, you want more than enough, okay? All right, for this one, Tommy and Ethan each have a cylinder. Tommy's cylinder has a diameter of 6 and a height of 8. Ethan's cylinder has a diameter of 8 and a height of 6. Which cylinder needs more wrapping paper? So we've actually got two problems here. We've got Tommy and we've got Ethan. Okay, so again, I'm going to help you draw the pictures and decide what formula to use, and then you're going to pause and solve on your own. So because we're looking for wrapping paper, we're finding total surface area. Okay, so make sure you use that formula. For Tommy's cylinder, go ahead and draw a circle. Label your radius and your height. When you read about Tommy, he has a diameter of 6. So we're going to divide that number by 2 to get our radius. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. And then a height of 8. So we've got his height. Now for Ethan, draw a circle. Draw your radius and your height. Ethan's cylinder has a diameter of 8. So divide that by 2. That's 4. That's our radius. And a height of 6. Now go ahead and pause. You're going to write the formula for total surface area, and then fill in your formula and type in Desmos, and then start the video again so you can check. All right, so here's Tommy's. Should have written the formula out, wrote it out with numbers, type it in Desmos, and get 207.24 inches squared. And then here's Ethan. Write the formula, write it out. You get 251.2 inches squared. So the question says, who needs more wrapping paper? You can clearly see Ethan has the higher number, so Ethan needs more. All right, you're all done for today. This was about Objective 1, and it's day 1 for our concept unit.